I love Willow. I grew up with this movie. It's such a derp movie, but I love it. And there's some people that either hate or love this movie, but I love. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a good example. I guess the brownies probably would have inspired some of the hijinks that our gang does.
Yeah.
Just, I love the story in general. It's really simple, it's really straightforward, and it's really nice.
I may not have remembered Willow, but I do remember, I know you guys probably read those, you know, 3rd grade reading level Mr. Toad and Mr. Frog.
Oh, yeah.
There was a movie called The Wind in the Willows that was kind of based off of these characters, and I remember having the cartoon version.
Wind in the Willows was, it's an
adaptation
of the books.
Yeah, I had the cartoon version. I watched that movie so many times. Once Upon a Forest is another one.
Yeah.
Fern Gully 2. Jesus. Any Don Bluth movie, really, when you think about it.
Yeah,
any Don Bluth
movie.
Bluth was kind of the animation style I always wanted to go for, because it was very fluid before, you know, anime came along and we had, you know, Lucky Star and the Caramel Danson dances that are like 50,000 frames just to get the fluidity.
Let me think here. Lady Hawk, which is a me thing.
Yeah, you made me watch Lady Hawk.
You didn't even get through the movie,
adorable.
bitch. You didn't even get through the movie.
Yeah.
Lady Hawk is amazing in spite of the stupid soundtrack. I love
medieval movies had to have a punk soundtrack.
Synthesizer. Oh, right. No, I love
It's kind of like
Hawk.
putting Kevin Rudolph in Dragonheart.
The whole
Dragonheart was another one of them.
Yes, Dragonheart's
Sean Connery.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Hawk, the whole star-crossed lovers thing, and also Matthew Broderick. That's probably where I got the idea.
Brad!
Because of Brad. Like, the way he is in that movie
I'm a thief.
amuses me so much.
I'm a thief, but, you know, I'll forgive myself
The
and do it again.
The whole thing where he's like, where he's talking to God the whole movie. It's like, God, I'll make a deal with you.
I think that's where I got Lexington. I think that's honestly
God,
where
I'll
I got
make a deal with
Lexington.
you. I'll never pick another pocket as long as I live. But in order for me to be pious to you, you have to allow me to live.
All forms of Inspector Gadget.
All forms of Inspector Gadget.
Including the one with Matthew Broderick.
I actually love that one, which is so funny because so many people hate it, and it is really dark.
And then the
movie.
second one, they didn't even get Broderick to play again, so.
Whatever Works. Whatever Works is a movie we found just last year, and it's amazing.
If you guys, oh my god, if you guys want a movie that will kind of have you nodding your head and being like, why can't I live this lifestyle? Why can't I be this old guy? Whatever Works, you gotta watch it.
If you want a good idea of how relationships work in RagNBone, watch Whatever Works.
Watch Whatever Works.
That is such a perfect rendition of how a relationship will go in
The
RagNBone.
breakups, the makeups, the makeouts, everything.
And the old guy is, think of one and Hemingway rolled into one person.
The creator, the guy behind Seinfeld, he is the star of this movie, so you can expect very big comedic relief. Itty bitty! Shut up! No one's going to screw you!
But it's not dumb comedy. It's actually got a lot.
Oh my god,
it's
very nice.
It's got a lot of heart to it.
And it's very nice pacing too. It's like watching a comedy show on Comedy Central.
The Flight of the Navigator, which you still haven't watched.
I haven't watched it.
I love The Flight of the Navigator. The idea of this kid traveling through time and the kooky, crazy alien spaceship and. Just, oh god, that movie. That was one of the few movies that didn't really bother me that much. Charlotte's Web we've already covered. Matilda. Every kid's dream to be able to control things without actually I tried to do that so hard when I was a kid.
Oh my god, so did I. I took up the spoon, I was sitting there and I'm like, and my mom would patronize me. She's like, you're bending it. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. You're a retard.
Vic the Fox.
Vic the Fox. Very old movie.
No,
it's Hungarian.
Not where Vic's name came from.
This is not where Vic's name came from. I honestly didn't remember his name was Vic until I picked up the movie again. The Little Fox. I had it on VHS. It's one of those no-name brand family dub movies.
It's so hard to find. It's actually
It's a Hungarian movie, and it was dubbed into English. It's honestly one of the best kind of moral grow-up stories ever, because it's very much a kid's movie in the sense that it teaches you exactly what you feel like you need to be taught throughout your years.
But it also teaches, like, they do a really good job of showing how adults view children,
and how children view adults, and how the both of them kind of tolerate each other until the very end.
And that older Uncle Fox is such a Wagner to me. Karak.
You hear me? I'll get you back one of these days!
Ricky Tikki Tavi. You want to talk about a Lewis? There's Ricky Tikki Tavi for you. Ricky Tikki Tavi. I loved that cartoon when I was a kid. It was done by God, I don't even remember who did it anymore.
Starts with an M, I think.
God, it's old.
Another one. Any representation of the Velveteen Rabbit. The Velveteen Rabbit is the reason I think I went with Ben and Jarek. It wasn't a pure inspiration, but the Velveteen Rabbit is a book that we practically read every single year. And it's one of those stories you cannot... Chuck Jones.
No wonder.
The Velveteen Rabbit is one of those books you cannot afford to go a year without reading at least once. It really is one of those stories you kind of, in order to keep sane throughout a lot of things...
It's a story that's just with you.
You need to default to it.
If you have not, for some reason, if in your childhood somebody neglected you so poorly that they did not have you read The Velveteen Rabbit, pick it up and read it.
And it's one of those books that will make you cry every single time.
It does. Reading The Velveteen Rabbit, I cried during the roleplay when we read it.
Yeah, we read it during the roleplay. It's in RagNBone.
It's one of those stories that just, it kills me. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, and it's in RagNBone, so at least for the Flash version, because we would have to get copyrights. But
I would actually read that on the Flash version.
On the Flash version,
the story, and I think I do want to read that.
You do, and for in the comic with the Flash comic, we will have it to where we do read the Velveteen Rabbit. There are like a couple of short stories and a couple of movies. We actually have the Stitch Punks watch. We obviously aren't going to play the movie or anything, but in particular, the Velveteen Rabbit,
we'll link you to it.
The Nutcracker Prince. We can have a little bit of an allusion to, but the Velveteen Rabbit is definitely in RagNBone. So if you haven't had the balls to read this book at all,
if you haven't read it in a few years, or if you just
another one is that I'd like to read is the Zen Shorts. Yeah, because that one's a really good lesson teacher as well.
The thing in particular about the Velveteen Rabbit is it pertains so much to the Stitch Punks. I mean, when you think about it,
and it pertains to everyday thing.
This story about if you're loved, you truly become real, and all those things. It's such a cute story. Okay, here's. I think I can give away something about who this is associated with. It's a character we've already introduced. It's not like it's a major plot giveaway. But Singing in the Rain.
Okay, anything from the 1920s. Oh yeah, inspiration.
The 1920s to the 1950s.
The jazz
the golden era of movies and things like that.
Hitting sound and Technicolor.
Okay, Singing in the Rain, I always have associated with Anton. And singing, which actually is a big deal in Good Company. But
oh my God, Singing in the Rain is kind of like his little theme song, honestly.
Singing in the Rain, I've always loved this movie. I love Gene Wilder.
Gene Kelly.
Gene Kelly. I'm
Kelly.
Wilder. Where'd that come from? They were talking about Wonka earlier. I love Gene Kelly. I loved this movie growing up. I love the color. I love the dancing. I love the music.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that make them laugh. I would run around the house and sing it and do the little floor thing where he runs in a circle. Oh, yeah. My Fair Lady. Musicals are a big freaking deal for me. So
musicals are a very big freaking deal, period. Because music, honestly, the more appropriate question would have been, what music inspired or inspires you? Because there's not a single thing in this roleplay. There has never been a time during this roleplay when we do not have music playing. On either side, on my computer or her computer, there always has to be a soundtrack playing for any given reason for this comic, because honestly, you can't not listen to music while doing this.
Exactly.
And so musicals
yeah.
are a combination of movies and musicals.
So give us a heads up if you want to hear that question. But,
Chicago, Wicked,
My Fair Lady, Fiddler on the Roof,
Moulin Rouge,
Moulin Rouge is on the list.
Into the Woods, Company. It's a big thing for good company. Let's see. Jesus. Bear, Spring Awakening. Oh my God. Go type into Google top 50 musicals, top 100 musicals, top 250 musicals. I can guarantee you there is at least one song from every single musical you find in those lists. Doesn't matter what kind of list it is. That will have inspired some part in RagNBone.
Disney films.
Oh, yeah. We've watched nearly every Disney movie in German. Just because we can. But Disney movies are one of those things you just can't. And if you guys want a really good representation of some movies, watch Beauty and the Beast in German. Oh my God, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King in German, and Aladdin in German.
Aladdin in German
really
is so
good.
lulzy, especially because of Aladdin's voice.
Oh my God, yes, it's so Anton.
It's so Anton. It's ridiculous.
We talked about the voice actors.
It's not his voice actor, but it's so Anton the way he phrases things and does it.
Yeah.
I had Stalingrad on the list, which I'm not actually sure this is the name of the movie, but it was a particular movie where they talk about the sniper thing. It's Enemy at the Gates, I think is actually what it's called. Enemy at the Gates.
Historical movies. Schindler's List. The Pianist.
The
Gettysburg.
Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Pajamas. Gettysburg for me. Me and my dad are big history buffs. We've always lived near Gettysburg, so the the Civil War was really a big influence on my life. A lot. So I'm kind of like every single. I think I've been to Gettysburg nearly at least once every 2 years, because it never gets old. It's one of those stories. It's kind of like, the Victorian era for steampunks. You always keep going back to it. So the Civil War was a really big thing.
There's the next two movies I'm going to tell you about a little bit, and religion is addressed multiple times in RagNBone in multiple ways.
Oh, God, is it ever.
And it's not all bad. It really, I swear to God, as much as we just ranted earlier,
oh my God, no.
Bad.
Religion is very, very interesting to us. We love accepting all forms of religion. We love reading and writing about it.
Even if we will joke about it.
And bitch about it.
Yeah.
Trust me. We love it.
And a lot of the reasons why I will bitch about things like this is because of my upbringing. It's because of
personal experiences.
My personal experiences with people who are religious. It's not because of the fact that I think that everybody is this way. I know not everybody is this way. I've met very wonderful Christian people, and I've met very wonderful Buddhist people, and very wonderful, well, I haven't really met a lot of, people of other faiths, actually, as far as, like, Jewish, Muslim,
and
things
it's
like
the very
this.
first Jehovah's Witness I haven't slammed a door in front of.
Yeah. It's just, when it comes to Buddhism and stuff, of course, she's Buddhist. My sister's also Buddhist, and so is my brother-in-law. But, when it comes to religions, I've always been interested in them. Like I said, to me, it's all mythology. So to me, it's fascinating because I love mythology. I love old school mythology, and I love, to me, I classify religion with mythology, even though most people don't. Most people like to make the distinction. To me, it's all the same thing. They're all creation myths. They're all the same kind of thing. Back then, it was taken just as seriously as Christianity and Buddhism and Muslim and Judaism is taken today. The movie in particular, these two movies are actually picked out for a specific reason. They're not really inspired, but they do give me some insight into a couple of characters in the storyline. The first is Doubt. Doubt is a remarkable movie. It's the story of a church, and it's actually a church, I think it's a school church, but essentially a priest in this church is accused of child abuse, and it goes through this whole drama with him being constantly watched by this particular nun, and I think she's a nun, she's a sister there, but anyway, she very spinsterly, very just evil looking woman, and you really like the priest. The priest actually comes across as a very nice person. But she comes across as very strict and terrifying. But there also is room for doubt. With the way they present the story, you do not know if he's guilty or not. And towards the end of the story, there's a lot of build up, and there's this beautiful moment, this moment towards the end that actually had me really emotionally moved, where the lady, the elderly woman, comes to a younger nun, a younger sister there, and basically says that the sister asked her, were you for sure? And she says, oh, I am firm and I am sure and I am positive that he did it. But then a few minutes later, she breaks down crying and she goes, but I have such doubt.